what the year since October 7th has done is essentially intensified the views of American Jews. That the views that American Jews had, whatever positions they held, have tended to be intensified. So the American Jews who were supportive of Israel have tended to become more supportive of Israel and become much, much more animated around the question of anti-Semitism, and much more willing to support kind of heavy-handed efforts to try to crack down on pro-Palestinian speech that they see as anti-Semitic. On the other hand, a predominantly group of younger folks who already were skeptical of Israel's behaviors, and in many cases even of the nature of a state that gives rights to Jews that it doesn't give to Palestinians, I think have been mobilized by seeing what Israel has done in Gaza and become much, much more active and much more willing to publicly say that this entire enterprise of a state based on ethno-nationalism, based on kind of Jewish legal supremacy over Palestinians, is something they fundamentally oppose. So you could say there was a kind of incipient American Jewish ideological civil war, but it's really, before October 7th, but it's really broken out into the open now, often along generational lines, also to some degree on lines of religious observance, because Orthodox Jews tend to be much more reliably pro-Israel than more secular Jews. And I think what we see is that the American Jewish establishment never really wants to admit that there are these chasms, these fractures among American Jews. They always want to tell the story that basically American Jews are essentially a Zionist consensus who are being menaced by these anti-Zionist, supposedly anti-Semitic elements that are coming from the American left. But time and again, when you look at what's actually happening in different institutions, and especially on college campuses, you see that that story just does not actually capture the reality on the ground. That again and again and again, you see Jews deeply involved on both sides of this struggle. And virtually every campus that I've spent any significant amount of time at, I have met and seen Jewish students who feel very threatened by pro-Palestinian activism, and I've also seen many Jewish students, sometimes almost as many, who are deeply in the midst of pro-Palestine activism. So this is, to a degree that American Jewish organizations, establishment Jewish organizations, don't want to admit, this is as much a struggle among Jews as it is more a struggle among Jews than a struggle between some kind of monolithic group of Jewish Americans and some left that's out there that's separate from American Jewry.